of the game.
If you guys remember, big drop for our players happened last session. So unfortunately, if you have not been following and jumped into it, you may want to stop right now and get back into the other things because
stick around and try to figure it out, and then go back and watch.
Yeah. They basically were able to finally learn that Pepper was actually a Horizon Ranger, and she had the ability to detect gates, and found out that the gate that you were actually looking for was indeed active. That's good news and bad news that she's able to do so. The bad news is the gate's active. So you were able to get a map. You remember your map that you got in Greenwood? You found the location you could enter in from a little bit outside the woods. You snuck in. Oleski had the only dark vision, so he led the group in with Pepper quickly behind and everybody in tow. You snuck up on a drow knight or noble son who was apparently just standing there all alone guarding it for whatever reason. You then decided that it was time to take action with him because Smoke was ready to do a quick assassinate. Then learn the hard way that he is still yet the student and not the master when it comes to assassinating, because that's what the drow do and they do it the best. So he was discovered. That led to a pretty big fight. Then you guys learned the wonderful, cool thing about drow poison, which dropped a couple of your members before you were finally able to subdue the drow noble's son. You did do a little questioning with him. Was a little profitable in some things, but not a whole lot. But the observation of the tapestries, which line the entire chamber, you discovered that this Archlich Dark Sun is looking to bring in possibly a goddess of his own, a being known as Silk, who's apparently a deity from another dimensional verse. And that upset players, but of course the characters have no idea who this creature is. So you are going to take your prisoner, I guess. Yeah, you guys had some debate on what you wanted to do with him. But I imagine you are going to now be leaving the chamber, correct? Or did you guys want to go up the stairs and see where it leads? I didn't really get a feel what you guys wanted to do.
Well, we were still trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We're kind of split, I think. But taking the prisoner with us, I think, was the last thing that was on the table.
Okay. Well, there was talk about selling him to Frog and Slate, so that's why that was part of where the discussion was.
HK was down with that plan. I thought it was a good way to keep him out of play for a while. If he survived, great, and if he didn't, then at least it wasn't on us. His fate was up to him.
I still think releasing him so that he can return to his family in shame and potentially we have something to hold over him later is my option.
I think I agree with the returning him to his family in shame.
There's merit in both ways. I do strongly feel Frog and Slate gives us a little better maneuvering power here in the city, but like I said, there's merit in both ways. So I am not married to that idea. I don't have to. It's not do this or bust, or we're at an impasse for me. So I can be convinced.
I'm not in an impasse either. I mean, he is potentially an evil being, and selling him into the slave pits is not something I'm against, but I think the better option is having something to hold over him and his family.
Your thoughts?
I think Aileron wants to take him as a prisoner with us.
I'm opposed to keeping him with us. That's basically allowing him to have insight as to our methods, our plans.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather
our whereabouts, and who meets and talks to us.
My thoughts.
That I'm absolutely against.
My thoughts were initially, obviously, I wanted to kill him, but you talked me out of that. Now, my thoughts are, I think should pull as much information out of him that we can. However, guys, once we think we have all the info we can get out of him, then I think we let him go. That way he can the burden of having been defeated and having us let him go and done from his. Granted, he'll have a vendetta against us, but we beat him once. Second time, have to beat him second time. He won't survive. But I don't think we go the route where we come up with some plan, and that would make him as one up on. He needs to know we beat him. We are letting him go. That's what I think.
If we go that route, the question then becomes, where do we let him go?
Somewhere where he doesn't follow us and know where our next. And I agree that we don't take him with us as we go, because we're going to just pull information out of us. Turn around.
Leaving him here then?
So, track the information here. Bring him up topside, let him go. And
the only problem I have with trying to extract information here is we have no idea when his superiors or his replacement or whoever is going to show up. We don't have any control of the time in this particular location.
And the only reason why I asked the where
Down
question,
the tunnel back towards our entrance, which seems to be in a place that's not really traveled as much, or whether we explore deeper in and see if we can find a room that we can secure.
wherever we leave him, we need to consider the fact we may need to leave him with at least some form of weapon of defense, especially if we leave him in the wilderness. If we release him with no weapons in the woods, I'm talking like a dagger. I'm not talking about a major weapon. And something were to happen, it still becomes our fault. And that would be
No,
again,
that's called nature.
I don't know if the drow would see it that way. Just a thought. Again, I'm not issuing mandates here, but we need to think about where we leave them. If we leave them trussed up somewhere in the city, what happens to them in the city happens to them in the city.
The only thing with being in the city is that gives them a better chance of just going rogue and up with the bandit coming right.
Yeah.
I'd rather him find his own way back to the port or something. I don't want to make
He's likely fairly capable, but again, something like a mundane dagger may be sporting if the term were to be applied. But I'm leaning towards, if we're going to leave him, we do so towards the entrance of this place as opposed to right here or deeper in.
Yeah, because obviously we got the portal to.
Well, Pepper, you said that this is outgoing. People can't enter here, correct?
Well, it's not fully working yet because it's linked to the other two.
Okay. So let's leave him unconscious, take him a mile away from the entrance, and let him go.
Okay.
All right, so you guys are ready to leave?
Yeah, take a quick look around just to make sure there isn't anything else that we should be concerned with or notice?
Roll
I-
investigation.
I have
What-
all his armor and stuff, don't I? Because at some point we're thinking about me being.
Oh, you
him.
have his blade.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to double check where I was in terms of stuff.
I don't
I can
know
attest
if you
to
want to.
the strength of the poison on his arrows. Perhaps we should put those to use.
All right. Leaving.
Yep.
Who's
After
leading?
my book about.
Is it the same same order as last time? Lesky leads. No light. You guys gonna stay stealth?
Yeah.
Okay, Alesky, you're leading. All right, you make your way back. Who's carrying the drow?
HK, I presume.
I will.
Okay, just checking. All right. So you are making your way through. Alesky, make me a perception check. Or not? Yeah, perception check.
Perception. 5.
What was the roll?
5.
5. Okay. All right, you guys are basically making your way down there. It's a couple of hours. You guys are just hoping by pepper.
When we get out of the underground, do we want to try to destroy the entrance or not first?
I don't have anything to destroy at the entrance, really.
You have an HK.
I mean,
You
yeah,
mean
brute strength.
collapse it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know if that's necessary or not.
It's
My
not
only-
necessary, but
My concern is that it's outgoing and there are other exits from that stay internal. Collapsing it will just make it harder for us to be able to get back. Should we need to return here to do battle with them at a later point?
Good point. That's true. Okay, we'll
yeah.
leave it as is. If it's that hard for us to find, I doubt anybody else is just. Okay, so are we? So, do we decide we're told whatever information we can get
Traveling
from this
down
guy?
right now. I assume pretty quietly going down the tunnel until you guys talked a little bit about what you want to do with the drow.
Hold on, guys. I think I see something up ahead. Hang back. Let me check this out.
I put the drow down on the ground and I put my and I crouch with my hand on his back. That way, if he starts to move, I'll notice it.
On the drow? Okay. Gotcha.
I want to be ready, but I also don't want him to be able to skinny away if I'm not noticing.
I will stand in front of them, basically, say the drow and Lexia walking away. Stand ready. Weapon drawn.
Okay. You are standing ready. The drow is pretty bound. You guys did pretty well with that, so he doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. Valerian is coming. He says he's just waiting for his son. Life situation.
Okay.
What? Emily? What?
Valerian, Pepper, they're just agreeing with whatever you guys are coming up with.
As he should.
Like,
What do you see, Alesky?
hurt Ben?
I see it. I got paid today, so tomorrow we'll be talking.
That's all off topic for the session, but on topic for the. That's all the subs that I've had up into.
Yeah, nice. Well, we talked about the actual. These guys are here. We did talk about the Spiro stream shirt. That might be something you might want to showcase because I'm buying one.
Oh yeah, I hold on. Go on stream.
Oleski, give me a wisdom check with advantage, please.
Even with advantage, 8.
You're just not sure. You're just unsure of it. So now do you is it a yes or no? You gotta be quick.
Yeah, right now I'm checking it out, moving forward.
All right.
Slowly, not like running forward, right?
Okay. Right. So I'm not going to type messages. This is also for the fans. You are brought for a little while down. A voice that, after now, that the distance is now made up a little bit more, is a female voice that you do recognize as Tiger Lily. And she now will ask you, what are you guys doing down this tunnel?
I'm not speaking in Elven this time. At this point, we're
What was that?
I got it.
Ran into her before, right?
at
Yeah.
this point, what we're doing is leaving.
I see. What were you doing down here in the first place?
I might ask the same question of you.
I was sent here to find out what you're doing, so I'm asking the questions here.
Have you been watching us to the point that you're following our every move?
No, I just caught you. Now, last time, you get to ask the questions. This time, I ask the questions. What were you doing down here besides before you got to the leaving part? At this time, you also now notice that she has 2 other people also nearby.
Well, I would say that I am doing what I would hope you would be doing, but apparently you're working for them, not against them. We were defeating the drow, moving a threat.
Where did you go?
To the far end of this tunnel, we found a room where your employers are preparing to invite a dark goddess into the world. But I assume you already know that.
My people are not bringing no goddess in the world, and we don't work for drow.
You're kind of muffled, but I'm not quite getting it.
She goes, we're not bringing any goddess into this world, and we don't work for drow. We're all about the point, not about peace. So what are you talking about?
Oh, yes, you do work for the drow. You're employed quite readily by them, which I'm very disappointed in, actually. I thought the elves were not beholden to their dark brethren. You're totally gone, Ben. I don't have you at all.
She goes, I don't serve the drow. And you're talking in very cryptic messages.
Then let me explain it. Your guild was hired by the drow to hire the assassin that has been dogging our trail and keeping us from coming to the city and attacking us, so that they could put together a ritual that opens 3 portals that allows some being of a godhood to come into this world. And we just defeated one of the guards protecting one of the portals that your employers are having you help them put together and assemble this ritual.
You have one of the guards now.
No, I don't. If you want me to be specific, he's farther back with the rest of the party, but you don't want me to be cryptic.
I don't. All right. I don't like this. And for the record, the laughing mask has gone crazy. We did not have him come and hit you. It was after him hitting you that we've had to decide that we had to figure out what you guys are up to. He's gone definitely AWOL.
No, you hired him to stay in Greenwood and prevent anybody from coming to Feng's port to interrupt your plans, which would then interrupt your employer's plans, the drow.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to hit you guys at Feng's Port Tavern. After we figured out who you were, we wanted to know what you were up to. But he's gone uncontrollable since he left Greenwood.
So then you should, take care of your members that follow him too.
How convincing, if you want to change this, how convincing are you able to give me the prisoner that you have?
I can't. I wanted to let him go. The rest of my party is interested in questioning him more, and we're certainly not giving him to you.
Why not?
Well, A, you work for him. That would be rather silly of us.
Okay. We do not work for him.
Oh, I'm sorry. You take money from them to do things for them to benefit them. Let me be more specific, since you want me to not be cryptic.
Just 1 second for a second. Lee,
Yeah.
can you hit up in the code button? There's a code. There's a meeting code. Can you send that to put that into our message board so Jacob can type it in or explain it to him so he can get in that way from whatever. He's having a little problem hitting the link.
Yep, I got it. Meeting ID and code.
Yep, thank you. Sorry about that, folks. We're trying to get our wizard in here. I think we're having some differences here. So I will give you a choice. If you want to change things, give me the prisoner. If you want to play guessing games with us, then don't. What do you want to do?
I'm not playing guessing games with you. I'm answering your questions exactly like you asked me to do, non-cryptically. However,
you have assumptions, as do we. I'm trying to clarify things. I work very high up in the ranks of our guild.
yes,
I feel more clarified.
And I would be more than happy to arrange for us to sit down together and allow you access to the prisoner. But I am not going to give him over to you. Neither is anybody in my party, especially since our current, as you insist, misconception is that you work for them.
The Obsidian Butterfly is not going to send you. Are you going to give me the prisoner or not?
I can't give you the prisoner.
Very
Our
well.
group could give you the prisoner. But
all of a sudden you hear something contact hit the ground, and then the room gets very smoky. You definitely now cannot see at all, even in the dark. And you have a good inkling that all three forms have gone up to where you've left. You entered them in the first place.
So I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to double verify that before getting back to the party.
You wait about, we'll say, 7 minutes. The cloud has dissipated enough that you now know that there are no other shapes or forms that you see. HK, no, you guys are sitting in the dark.
So once the cloud dissipates, I'll return. So let me know. Get that.
You only go probably about 10,
Ah.
well, about 15 feet, and you run into smoke.
I
was
was gonna
hoping you would have gotten curious earlier, but
I was gonna shoot them if they attacked you.
We had your back.
So
or hear any of that?
I heard the back end of it. Let's get back to the party and we can talk about it.
All right, you guys get back. Oleski and Spoke are both returned. And imagine you want to hit some light so you guys can see each other.
Yeah, I'll cast the light cantrip and give us a
And then
fair bit of light here.
go right ahead. Welcome, Jake.
Hello.
Hello.
Perfect timing. You show up and they turn and run off. Did all the work.
Well, of course they got scared when they saw me. Fucking wizard.
Okay. So, Jake, just a quick recap
The
for you. I
hairy
know
wizard.
the party has left the ritual place. You have taken the drow with you. You went about 2 hours down the tunnel you came into. Oleski mentioned that he had to go, he sees something or something, he wanted to go check it out. About, say, 15 minutes later, him and Spoke have returned. Otherwise, you sat in the dark. Nothing else you know of.
Huh.
All right. So, Spoke and Oleski, it's up to you, whatever you want to say.
I apologize for misleading you. I had a dagger in my ribs. They're watching us much more closely than we anticipated, I believe. They saw that we came down this tunnel.
Like literally a dagger in your.
Yes.
In
He
or
didn't
adjacent.
get into me.
What would a figurative dagger in the ribs be?
Just being in a tough spot, but that's happening a lot lately. You're not allowed to go anywhere alone.
Your ribs
I
do seem
wasn't
very
alone.
inviting.
You, but so that was Tiger Lily. She followed us into the tunnel, or she came into the tunnel looking for us on orders to come find us because we have been active in the city. She wanted to know what we were doing down here. I
probably knows what we're.
well, no. She was very surprised. I provoked her with accusations of her working for the drow, and at least at her level, in the cult of the Night Garden, she's not aware that they are working for the drow.
They're working with the drow.
Really?
No, she was very upset to find out that about it. She very much wants our prisoner. I was unwilling, or I believed unable to give her that on my own order. I would have to talk to the rest of you about that. So I was not willing to say that we would pass our prisoner over to her. But she seems to be very upset and says that we are under several misconceptions about her guild.
Mm-hmm.
And our two relationships.
Yes, I'm sure they're a very philanthropic organization, much like the Shriners.
No, I don't believe she was making any kind of allusion to that, but she was certainly adamant that she does not work for the drow. So I don't believe, if she's telling the truth, that the cult of the Night Garden is aware of the drow's activities in the city and what they're actually working for. She was also very specific that the Laughing Mask has gone rogue and has gone crazy. And while he was employed by them, he no longer is operating under any of their directives.
He's gone crazy, implying he wasn't crazy to begin with.
Was he not crazy at some point?
I highly doubt that.
You don't get the name
Implying
Laughing
that-
Mask without being crazy.
Up until he came after us, he was operating under their instruction. And since going after us specifically, he has gone off of their path that they had set for him.
He's off the reservation, so to speak.
So I think we do have an opportunity. We've been wondering what to do with this drow prisoner.
I don't think
How-
giving him to her is a great. How can we
sure
believe
are
her?
you
How do we know we're
about-
not just giving him back, and he's gonna be like, all right, cool, that was a nice detour, but let's get him.
Exactly. How sure are you that he has no idea the relationship involved in?
I'm not sure at all. All
Well,
I'm sure
I
of is
mean,
that she was surprised by my accusation that she was working for the drow.
if she's working with a roguish guild, like they don't. It's not like they like fanatics. They're like 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 cults and things like that. They like to steal things and get personal gain. Like they've. I have an inkling to believe her that she isn't aware that she's working for drow.
No. It's possible there could be some sort of compartmental going on that she doesn't know. Big picture. It happens. I'll tell you from I serve on but information that we've gathered to the point, I think otherwise. So if they hired the Laughing Mask, so what he's guessing, a lot of what's going on, got to know that there's some sort of relation. And don't something comes up that tells us something.
Well, her race as a whole is diametrically opposed to the drow in philosophy and activity and in general mindset. I was very surprised when I first learned of her being leadership in the Night Garden that she was working for the drow. So I tend to accept her surprise at my accusation directly to her.
Do we know how to get a hold of Tiger Lily?
Stand in one place long enough to apparently see a rise.
She'll stab Alexia in the ribs when she wants to talk.
Well, maybe we could entice her with actually talking to the prisoner under our supervision, and
Yeah. Why don't we keep walking while we?
Yeah, let's keep him with us and bring him to the inn. I'd say, if we can do that without going through security, is that possible? I guess
We should not bring him to the inn. There are too many innocents there. We've brought them enough threat.
Where can we bring him? That
if we just
bring
want
Tiger Lily to.
Can
What
give you an
time-
idea of how to get in contact with her, Lexi?
No,
You
I
guys-
know she operates on the other
we
side
know-
of the
You
river.
guys talked about 4 days compared to like a day or so away from Bangsport. Basically, like 4 days will put you back at Greenwood, just to be an option.
we can't just walk down the street of the city with a freaking drow prisoner. Shit's gonna go. It's gonna draw a whole lot of attention.
Cloaks and stuff on them, but
Well, again, my suggestion was release, with him knowing that we released him. If Tiger Lily is working for the drow, as HK kind of alluded to, if we were to give the prisoner to her, we would just be returning him, which, in my opinion, is not far off from my original idea.
oh, but has anybody ever run into a situation where he's elf? Why she's opposed to drow? Is that what you're saying? Has anyone ever encountered that before? I mean, we could use drow as a bargaining chip for her and be in the cult for us.
That's what I'm hoping for.
She truly doesn't know.
I think that's a possible result. I'm hoping for that.
But if
So you want
if we
so
if
you
we
want to
hand
say
over
well
if we hand over the prisoner, and finds out that we're right, that her cult is somehow working for the drow, that could motivate her to rebel in some sense. That could be her favor. Thought.
What if she's playing you, Oleski?
Well, then we return the prisoner, which is pretty much what we were going to do anyways.
Well, I wouldn't say if she's playing me, because the only thing I'm suggesting is that she sounded surprised at learning that. I'm not saying her guild is not working with the drow. I'm just saying she seemed surprised.
So it could be her guild is doing so, and they're just keeping her out of the loop.
And that could work in our favor as turn against her own guild if she finds out that they're working with the drow and
I think that's
character.
that's a pretty big leap of faith to take at this point. That she's gonna join us.
What's there to lose with whether we let this guy go or we turn him over? Either way, he still has to live with the fact that he not being his turn. And the fact that he's heard most.
Spoke just because. I know we play every once a week, but kind of reminder. Remember, I don't know if you've taken notes, but you were given 2 names that were lieutenants to this to the cult of the Night Guard. Lieutenants in the guild are basically right and left. Yeah, so there's only 2, which means either Lotus is doing something behind their back or the other person who's above them is doing it. But that would mean, in your estimation, understanding it, if she is not aware of it, the leader of this guild has literally cut his guild in half to operate under this system, which would seem very odd to you.
Yeah, I don't believe her at all.
Think as an elf that they would
just
go rogue and go against natural instinct.
She's already joined this roguish gang and become a lieutenant. I mean, she's already risen up the ranks of this cult of the Night Garden. So it's not like she's been in the nunnery and then all of a sudden.
How positive are we she's elf and not another change? Talking of her.
I don't think we can just say, okay, there's no way you knew anything. Here you go. Here's the guy. We're cool now, right? Everything's cool. Cool. She would know something. She's the friggin', she's tied for second in the rankings right now for the guild. So in this town.
Can we incapacitate the drow for it?
Yeah, he's out.
You've been knocking him out every time he looks at you, so
I have my hand.
Just keep doing it.
I have my hand on him.
They give him CTE before he gets out of there.
You guys have taken enough in despair. You guys are now at the entrance of the rocks are above you. So now you guys have light coming down on you, but you guys.
Okay, let me throw this option out, and it's risky, but it's a potential option. Reach out to her, whatever the hell her name was.
Tiger Lily.
Tiger Lily.
Tell her that we're willing to hand over the prisoner. And basically play the story. We're going to hand you over the prisoner. If you're not aware of your cult working with the drow, we highly suggest that you look into it. And maybe Spoke takes on the persona and we hand over Spoke, not the actual drow. That puts him at risk if they try to do something negative. It could give us information if they're in on it and decide, hey, yeah, welcome back in. tell us what they're doing.
That is a
I mean-
fundamentally terrible idea.
I mean, the second they ask me something that I don't know, that's over. And that probably happened within like the first minute, I'd imagine.
If it takes them a minute, they are not
I mean-
worthy. They are not worthy to be our adversaries.
Just curious, did Spoke do something to you that you want to get him killed?
How did he hurt you so?
That's
I'm
why
No,
just
he's
going
you're,
on.
you're spitballing. You're spitballing. It's
I'm
good.
spitballing.
Something more immediate, just to bring
And I
up.
want to look around.
Yeah, can I just bring up something a little more immediate than that whole situation? We're at the entrance. Tiger Lily, I missed the beginning, apparently knew that we were down here.
Yeah.
This is a really good choke point for an ambush. So if she knew we were down here, there could be other individuals from the cult, her gang, at the at the top of this, which would be a real good place to get us. So might want to focus and be ready for that instead of,
Alright.
just spitballing ideas all the
Let's
time.
get out of the tunnel. Let's get a little ways away from here. We've got several hours to go before we're back to the port, if that's where we're headed. So let's just get into a safe area, and then we'll figure out
Not
what the
take
hell we're
the
doing.
drow back to the end.
No, but
If
we
we're
want to. Let's just get out of this immediate area before we decide what we're doing.
If they're watching us, in theory, we step away from this cave a little bit and basically let them know this is what we want to do.
The
Okay,
laughing mask is also potentially out here watching us too. So
You're out of the hole. Which direction? Towards Fangsport or toward Greenwood?
But we're not bringing back to Greenwood.
Or you want to go to the Fey Forest? That's completely up to you.
Hey, Forest.
You guys tell me. I'm not. I'm just your DM. Which
I would
direction?
say Fey Forest because it reminds me of spring.
let me
Reminds me of the spring.
just a moment while I get some information.
It reminds me. Get a little carbon dioxide while we were down in that tunnel.
Nope.
I didn't see any canaries.
I just think that the Fey Forest reminds me of spring. I look at HK while I'm saying that.
It is definitely something we should check out. And it's a location that doesn't bring us near comrades.
I'm fine with that. HK, you don't have a battle hymn for prisoners of war?
Uh-oh. Did someone just sponsor?
No.
For prisoners of war, I'll have to look back at the book, but I did have one in regards to the laughing mask and this guild's hiring of him. Psalms of Battle, Book 3, Chapter 4. Not every person who keeps bees is a beekeeper. Not every leader of warriors is a general. Many an amateur was fooled into releasing hornets unto his lands.
Murder hornets.
Murder hornets. Great. I want to turn it over to the damn league. Good job.
My goal is after this campaign is over that we have a good amount of those that we can publish.
I've got
Did you
6 so far.
Do you send it to me or somebody else? I haven't seen it.
I sent it to you.
Whatever he said, I did not get.
That's why, because what I sent to you, I sent to Jake.
Oh yeah, that's gibberish to me.
That's gibberish. You immediately go through this all the time. It's
Oh,
just-
yeah. I only did it twice last week.
One of them was to me, so I caught it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt.
That's okay.
Lee
If
knows.
only the computer knew what we were thinking.
I know. I just kept seeing. I had them both next to me, so I hit the quick thing. So okay, you guys are standing around the tunnel, right? The opening. I think Oleski is kind of talking.
Keeping position on the jow, I'm facing the tunnel, so nobody comes out of there onto us.
Holding the perimeter. So, guys.
Hey Ben, on that map, where would I guess it doesn't matter. We probably have to go east to get to the Fey Forest from here.
Fey Forest is actually north. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm looking at the map that you have. Fang's Port is like directly west of the Fey Forest.
Yes.
So we would have to go east to get to unless we
North.
traveled way south. Either way, we have a map and we know which way to go.
Yes. True.
We use the map.
I've got a couple.
Yes, we know. You spent all your money on maps and now you're broke.
No, I spent all my money
I'm
giving it
fighting
to
the
you
urge
guys.
to bust into a door.
I spent all my money on giving it to you guys to potentially hire mercenaries.
By the way, I'm still gonna want that map to my mayor's house back. I don't need you knowing all the secret rooms.
The only one you need to worry about is the one that this person snuck through. The murderer snuck through.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you know that old mayor had a
about 5
sex
minutes.
dungeon.
What would you like to do?
You have what?
You've been standing around the entrance for about 5 minutes.
Before we left the tavern, I sent Jean out to look for help with the Feywood. He has encountered a couple of, I believe, sprites that can help us navigate and introduce us into the Feywood. And we know that's where we need to go, at least for one of the other portals.
Do they like cake? This I don't know, random questions that come to mind. Never mind.
Split personality going on. Spoke.
A little bit.
Alec
Can't take a drow into the city, so
All right, we can't take him in. So either we let him go now, or we go halfway back to the port, summon Tiger Lily, have her meet us outside of the port, turn him over. Those are the two options.
How far on the map? The map kind of looks like the Feywood would be about the same distance as going to Greenwood. It looks like, without, just by the scale of the map. So how far did you say it would have been to Greenwood from where we were?
You're about 4 days away from Greenwood, and really just a couple days from Fingsport.
A couple hours, you mean, from Fangsport?
Well, actually, a day. You're about a day away from Fingsport.
Okay.
I'm telling you. You had to go really far in the woods to get that into that tunnel network.
Yeah.
That's why it was undiscovered.
So we can head towards the Feywood. We're not provisioned for a 4-day walk through the forest. We'd have to forage or hunt or something.
I have rations.
Pepper says she can help you hunt.
Okay. All right, then I say let's head towards the Feywood. Let's not go back to Fangport right now.
What about the prisoner?
I think we have to look at unloading the prisoner, and I do think that Tiger Lily is a good way to do that. I think the idea is go somewhere a little closer, but not all the way back. Make our presence known. Tiger Lily will come to us. I think Oleski just needs to find some way to pass word that we're willing to deal, and that should bring her coming.
Yeah.
She's not watching us talk right now.
Just leave him tied to a tree. Knock him out and leave him in the woods.
Well, it doesn't help us with Tiger Lily if we just leave him in the woods.
Yeah. No, I mean, if
I'd
Alexi
be
thinks he
willing
can contact her.
I'd be willing to go after her and try to get her. I mean, we're far enough from the city where, unless they're running at pace, I expect we could catch up if we tried.
True, she just
We're not
left,
catching
so
an elf in the
far ahead
woods.
of us.
But we should move now as opposed to wasting time.
Yeah.
If we move past a rest period by a little bit of time, we should be able to catch up.
You're gonna try to catch Tiger Lily. That's the plan.
Somebody track them.
Do you want to do it by
Never.
surprise? Do you want to do it by?
No, don't want to surprise.
No, we want to get her attention. Not so far as just screaming her name into the forest, but
Pepper has their trail, so she will follow. To make it kind of short, you will find one of their guys. Kind of let him know that you want to make the exchange. He will fire a whistle arrow back far enough. That takes you guys another 20 minutes of wait. Tiger Lily and another individual will show up. So Oleski, kind of three forms that you were aware of. The other two individuals, one is very big. He's the one that fired the whistle arrow. He's about 6'4", not overly thick, beefy,
Sure.
but he looks very strong. And the other one she's about a foot taller, and you're guessing half elvish. Very light features with her.
Wait,
they're both
a foot taller than the 6'5" guy?
no, foot taller than Tiger. Tiger Lily is
Okay.
the shortest of the bunch.
I was like, holy shit.
She's like even 4'10".
Got it.
I assume HK stands the tallest at 7 foot.
What's that?
I assume HK stands the tallest at 7 feet.
Yeah, you're definitely a brute and stuff, but obviously you need to be nervous because Spoke will confirm with you. You're probably sure if these are three rogues, if two of them go after any one of you, they're doing backstab damage. So just to be wary how things could fall. And there are three of them.
Okay.
So she will now walk up and she goes, "You wanted my attention?" You have
yes,
it?
I did, for many reasons. But in this particular instance, I was able to convey your surprise and your belief that we have misconceptions about you and your guild to my compatriots. And we have discussed, as I said I would, the turning over of the prisoner to you.
Good. I like it. Just for you guys to know, Tiger Lily looks, she looks seasoned. She doesn't look very young for an elf. You've probably given her would be for a human race, would be late 20s. She has gold hair and piercing blue eyes. She's arrayed with a number of daggers across her legs and her back and hips. That seem to be her preferable weapon. You're probably counting somewhere at least 5 or more. The big guy seems to be the bowman. He's got a short bow that he's using, decked out with several quivers of arrows. And the other girl, she seems to be the swordsman. She's got rapier and short swords close to her, with also a number of daggers. So she goes, so you're willing to send over the prisoner then?
That is what we've discussed. And hopefully we're not just handing him back over to someone who's going to take him back into the fold.
That will not be what will happen. So she goes, "Tassel, get the drow." So he strings his bow over his shoulder. He walks, hands out like this, and slowly walks towards you.
I hold my hand up and I look Tiger Lily in the eye, looking down upon her, and I we are doing this to solidify a working arrangement between our organizations. There's a threat here. If you consider the drow a threat, or the same kind of threat that we consider him to be, we should be sharing information on this matter. If we work in our way and you work in your way, and we don't share information, we are both at a tactical disadvantage. They have all the information. You or we have none, or very little. I am a warrior, and I am not sure if that is your particular inclination. But I can say that if you are a leader of people, then I will consider you a warrior of a kind. Will we have such an arrangement?
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
That's going to be a 9.
Okay. She looks and she goes, we do have our own ways of operating, but we will call it an olive branch by sending us this prisoner so we may understand the situation more. If it is as Aleski has said, and you are supporting, then perhaps there is a time to find out what is indeed going on. Now, let me get the prisoner.
I hand the prisoner to her, man.
Okay, he takes it, and he's not kind with it. He's pretty rough. Would anyone like to insight? I imagine that's something you guys all want to do.
Oh yeah, I do.
Roll the insight. Just type it in the chat.
I'll roll in it. What are we doing?
If you think this is suspicious, if you want to see they're genuine, because half of you guys' question is if you think they're playing you and you're giving them back an agent. So if you want to try, you may insight them to see if actually there's something in there. They're giving a tell. They're not a very good poker face to see what you have going on.
I was so into this session, I forgot to bring my character up. Not that it matters.
Make it up as you go.
I'm getting
Advantage or just a straight up
play
roll?
without my character sheet.
It's not advantage. Straight roll. These guys are very good at what they do. So you're getting a lot of that.
I'm too excited that the guy's roughhousing him. I rolled low.
Yeah.
I was too distracted talking in chat about a Warforged Bruce Lee type monk.
Yeah.
What?
Cool. All right. Well, over the prisoner and kind of stand by to let them travel away so it doesn't.
Mostly because we're not. Mostly because we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, that was supposed to be to somebody else, man.
Oh no, the DM's got extra info.
I gave up our plans, dudes. My bad.
2 only players. Ben's being a real butthole right now. Oh no, Ben! I get to
Red dragon just came out of the sky.
Oh.
You know, I have my ring of unasked EAO.
So they turn away. You guys are now relieved of having to worry about the damn drow prisoner. Now you guys want to go to the Fate Forest, or what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Forrester?
Yeah, we'll head out towards the face.
I believe we have several reasons to head that way, so we shouldn't take any time if we can afford it. We can move
Okay,
right.
so go right to the Fate Forest. Pepper will try to lead.
Yeah.
All right, you are going through. Within a couple hours, even Pepper is struggling. There are way more vine foliages in this area. Not very many easy trails in the outer thicket of this area. Lots of little branches and stuff. Everybody roll a survival check going through.
Ooh,
Oh.
19.
20.
Oh, whoops. That was just a spoke. That
20?
12.
Oh, all right.
10.
Yep, that would be my Jew in the woods. Hates the place. As a barbarian, you're probably the least happy person.
I'm like a
outside.
first lieutenant. You can't leave me alone or I'm going to get lost.
I actually had that first lieutenant. He was terrible. For vodka.
All right. Session break.
Dude, you take basically 1 point of damage from thorn pricks bushes going through.
Oh. Rick.
Okay. All right. So you guys get a little prick center in. Alessi, you take 2 points of damage. Okay. After about 4 hours of going in the woods, it's very thick. I will stop again. Basically, so Alessi, Jean will tell you he is here.
Dang it.
Oh, and this is a good point too. So just as he shows up, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break so we can get everything kind of paused up and ready to go. We're back here at 8:15. Check you guys' watches. Make sure not too much later. Cool.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
8:15 it is.